Yo, good evening, USA, International, Canada, Long Island, aka Strong Island, plus the five spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. This is your man and homie, G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator. Your host with the most, misunderstood, lonely nomad, unstoppable independent podcaster, and of course, Queens, New York native, who is also a New York Mets fan from the neck of the woods of Laurelton, Queens, New York. And you are now rocking with me by listening, tuning in, streaming, and watching the 94th episode of the Sports Edition show, Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast. Live and direct from StreamYard and alongside of the comfort of my room and YouTube. And let me be real for a second, man. And what's been going on with me since I've been out. So I lost my job not 9 to 10 months ago due to bankruptcy, and I've been having a difficult time trying to find another job and stuff, and it's been pretty difficult for me, and I wasn't really sure if I was going to be in good shape to actually do the podcast recordings because of the difficult time I've been going through, and not to say that not to say that I I, I abandoned y'all, but that's not the case. I needed to take a little time. I needed to take a little time for myself, not just to not just to not just to get myself fixed, but to also make sure I have some sports topics to talk about. Not just the New York Mets, but also a little bit of basketball news, a little bit of football news, and other stuff. So, you know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to be real for 1 second and to address what's what happened to me. So just to just in case anybody wanted to know what happened with me, what's been going on for me, there's your story. All right, so um now that I got that out the way, what do you say we go into the quick side bleacher bar? We got some sports topics to talk about in baseball. All right, first and foremost, we gotta talk about actually I've been saving this for quite some time. I didn't get a chance to get around to it. But let's get into what has been going on one of the players. Hold on 1 second. What happened here? Yeah. All right. Let's get into this. One of the Mets minor players actually goes by the name of Calvin Zeigler. All right. A 21-year-old who struck out 13 in 6 hitless innings at Single A Brooklyn to start the season needs Tommy John surgery, sources told Mike Mayer of Metsmerize Online. Daniel Wexler was the first to report Ziegler. Ziegler was missing the 2024 season. The right-hander missed nearly all of last season due to elbow and and quadriceps injuries. The Canadian was selected in the second round of the 2021 draft. He was ranked number 22 on the Metsmerize Online list of Mets prospects. In 2022, his first professional season, he fanned 70 in 46 two-third innings over 16 starts for the St. Lucie Mets, pitching to a 4.44 ERA and 1.30 whip. Ziegler was drafted in 2021 with the 46th overall pick. All right, so let's go into what's going on with in case you didn't know, Jose Quintana is not with the Mets anymore. Um and this is according to MLB. Ask any manager in baseball about pitching, pitching depth, and they will undoubtedly say there's no such thing as too much. The Brewers took a step to add to theirs on Wednesday, agreeing to a 1-year deal with a mutual option for 2026 with left-hander Jose Quintana. Terms were not announced, but a source told um hang on. A source told um MLB.com that it's for $4.25 million. Hang on. That's $4.25 million. Hang on 1 second. The 36-year-old will give Milwaukee another veteran arm to add into the rotation mix, which is waiting for Brandon Woodruff to return from shoulder surgery and dealing with another injury to DL Hall, who was placed on the 60-day injured list with a left lat strain, to make room on the roster, and to Aaron Ashby, who exited his last start with an oblique injury just hours after the Brewers reached their tentative deal with Quintana. Whew. Wow, this is very alarming. Very alarming, folks. All right, let's continue. Um, hold on. End quote. I'm so excited to be a part of this group, Quintana said. It's a lot of younger guys, and right away I feel that energy. Now I understand just after just a couple of days here why they win. It's a new journey. It's a new journey for me, and I'm excited for the next chapter of my career. For Katana's new teammates, that feeling was mutual. Brewers opening day starter Freddie Peralta and Quintana joked on Wednesday morning about being enemies of Quintana for a long time. A nod to the lefty's success against the Brewers over the years, and Peralta said adding him makes our rotation better, stronger. We have more depth now. It energizes the team. Brewers outfielder Christian Yelich said, "We like the guys that we have, and we have a good team. But anytime you can add guys, especially someone that has done the things that Jose has done in this league, it energizes the group. The more good guys that you have on your team, the better off you are going to be." Especially on the pitching side. You know, you are going to need depth there because you use a lot of guys in the season. That was certainly the case last season when the Brewers tied a franchise record by using 17 pitchers to start games. Quintana spent the past two seasons with the Mets, who signed him to a 2 year, $26 million deal prior to the 2023 campaign, though he was limited to 75 and two-thirds innings in his first year with New York. Quintana bounced back in 2024, logging 170 and one-third innings while going 10 for 10 with a 3.75 ERA. Um, he's such a solid starting pitcher to love, said Brewers non-roster invitee Mark Canna, who was teammates with Canna on the 2023 Mets. He's a quality arm. He's talented. He's a pro, and he's an awesome guy. It's kind of a shock that it took this long for somebody to go grab him because he's such a solid piece. Quintana's 2024 didn't start out well when he went 1-5 with a 5.20 through his first 13 starts. From June 15th through the end of the season, he was 9-5 with a 2.77 ERA, highlighted by a five-star stretch from August 25th to September 18th that saw him allow one earned run over 32 innings, 0.28 ERA to help the Mets clinch a postseason berth. Hmm. He knows what he's doing. He just knows what he's doing. Cannon said he hits his spots and he's got great stuff. He doesn't mess around. He's aggressive. And usually it feels like when you are facing him, you have to hit a good pitcher's pitch. That's what makes him so tough. He can put it where he wants to put it, and he doesn't make too many mistakes. It's hard to blame the Brewers for being excited about the signing because it means they won't have to face Quintana this season. In 23 career outings, 22 starts against Milwaukee, Quintana has a 2.98 ERA over 130 innings, baffling Brewers bats times, bat times, and time again. I had a couple of options, but I pitched pretty well against the Central Division, and I know this division for a long time, Quintana said. I really like this Brewers group. I saw how electric they are and how hungry they are. The most important thing is how they respect the game. That's a cool thing. I always see playing against the Brewers, it's a new generation than the one I faced over the last couple of years, and they still are doing good things. I think it's a really good organization, and it made it easy to pick this team. The Brewers got a first-hand look at how effective Quintana could be last October when he held Milwaukee scoreless over 6 innings in Game 3 of the NL Wild Card Series. Um, he knows our he knows our division very really well. Peralta said, "We've played against him a lot of times, and we all know him. It doesn't matter if he's getting hit hard or pitching great. He has trust in himself. He's going to give you innings. He's competitive and he wants to pitch, which is very important. Quintana joins a rotation that likely will include Peralta, Nestor Cortez, Tobias Myers, excuse me, and Aaron Savell, with Woodruff expected back sometime during the first half. Milwaukee could also get contributions from Hall, Ashby, and Tyler Anderson, not to mention some of its top pitching prospects in the minors. He's so level headed. He puts his head down and goes to work every day, Canna said. He's not he's not overly emotional. He's even kneeled. No, he's even keeled, which is what you want in a clubhouse. Over the course of a full season, he comes in with a smile on his face every day and works. I would advise any young pitcher in here to pick that guy's brain as much as they can. Hmm. Hmm. All right, so all right, let's go into Griffin Canning. The signing of Griffin Canning by the Mets in December didn't cause much of a ripple in an offseason in which billions of dollars were invested in free agency the the injury prone right hander um, who gave up an American League high 99 earned runs a year ago seemed like just another death piece. Death piece. But a strong performance during spring training combined with injuries to higher price signings Sean Manaea and Frankie Montas opened up a spot for Canning, and the 28-year-old is set to make his Mets debut Saturday in Houston, which already happened. Um, and for a little known pitcher who told in Anaheim for the first 6 seasons of his career after being drafted by then general manager Billy Epler, who got fired in the second round of 2017 draft of the 2017 draft out of UCLA. There is some hope Canning could make a name for himself in Queens. Canning arrived to the Mets following a trade from the Angels to the Braves in exchange for Jorge Soler, only to be non-tendered by Atlanta before hitting arbitration. Hmm. Let's see. Let's see. Arbitration. Yeah. Okay. Then a free agent Canning signed a 1-year, $4.25 million deal with the Mets. Asked during spring training if the struggles with the Angels and being cut loose by the Braves made him lose his confidence, Canning said. I think that kind of stuff would make that happen to anyone. A new beginning with the Mets, though, seemed to have a positive impact on Canning, who opened eyes during spring training and caught the attention of his old college coach, John Savage. Savage, who coached Garrett Cole and Trevor Bauer in college, worked with Canning shortly before he headed to spring training in Port St. Lucie. He's like a greyhound, really thin and twitchy, Savage said by phone. The ball came out of his hand different, and we loved his makeup and competitiveness. He went on to a solid career in college, but hasn't had the same results in the majors. This guy is no, this is a guy who can really pitch and has got the stuff to match his pitch ability, Savage said. I think he flew under the radar the last couple of years and had a hard time last year in some starts. But he what he did this spring is what we saw at UCLA. We knew we knew he had that kind of ceiling if he could stay healthy, and that's been among the issues that has stalled Canning's career. A lower back stress fracture in August 2021 ended that season and caused him to miss all of 2022, but he pitched 121 innings the following season and 171 and two third innings a year ago. A bet with a 5.19 ERA. The Mets have visions of their pitching program, helping Canning become more effective and take advantage of his swing and miss stuff. End quote. I think his interactions with our pitching coaches, understanding what we're trying to help him with, while also staying true to how he believes he's the best pitcher. President of Baseball Operations, David Stern said. So I think there has been a lot of back and forth and interaction, and it's been great to see. He got off to a promising start in 14 and one third Grapefruit League innings. Canning struck out 22 and walked 5. Savage said Canning was ready for a challenge after a whirlwind off season. In quote, I think he was looking forward to working with their technology, Savage said, of Canning joining the Mets. Plus a new atmosphere, new opportunity, different voices. It's a new world to him. Um, One that could benefit Canning after years of tumult with the Angels. End quote. I had 4 different pitching coaches, different managers with different philosophies, Canning said of his time with the Angels. Some years were more tech heavy, some were more traditional. More stability with the Mets might help. Um, to a degree, yeah, said Canning, who grew up in Southern California, going to Angels games, went to UCLA, then was drafted by his hometown team. You see all the time, being in a new place helps a guy a lot. I was lucky to pitch for the team I grew up rooting for, but I've been in California my whole life, and being here in New York, it might it might not be it might not even be a new message for me. It might just resonate differently. Now it's up to me. Well, I mean, Griffin Canning had his ups and downs. Um, he did win some games. He had some struggles with his pitching mechanics in some of the games that I've seen, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Um, I want to continue to see more what type of pitching mechanics he has, how he's able to control his command of pitches. So I can't wait to see more of him. And speaking of which, another person who came back to the Mets is Ryne Stanek. Yes, so the Mets reunited with a key piece from their 2024 postseason bullpen, agreeing to terms with right-hander Ryne Stanek on a one-year deal. The club announced on Thursday. A source told MLB.com's Mark Feinsand that Stanek's deal is worth $4.5 million and includes another $500,000 in incentives. Though the team confirm this terms did not confirm the terms. In a corresponding move, um, right-handed pitcher Dylan Covey was designated for assignment. Stanek, a mid-season trade acquisition of the Mets, produced a 3.38 ERA over 7 postseason appearances, earning 2 holds and a win. He owns a 2.89 career ERA in the playoffs and a 3.65 career regular season mark over 8 years with the Rays, Marlins, Astros, Mariners, and Mets. Ryan emerged as an important late inning option for us last season, and we're excited to bring him back, said President of Baseball Operations David Stearns. excuse me, David Stearns. He brings a combination of experience and stuff that will complement the rest of our pen well, excuse me. Upon arriving in Queens in a late July trade for minor league outfielder Rylan Thomas, Stanek initially struggled, allowing 7 runs over his first 5 outings. But he rounded into form from there, relying on a triple-digit fastball to produce a 2.92 ERA over his final 12 appearances heading into the postseason. In October, Stanek ascended to the Mets' top setup role, proving to be one of Carlos Mendoza's most trusted late inning weapons, with Edwin Diaz absorbing a heavy workload and unavailable on multiple occasions. Stanek pitched the ninth inning of 3 Mets playoff victories. His finest moment came in National League Championship Series Game 5 against the Dodgers, when Stanek delivered 7 crucial outs to save a taxed bullpen and help force Game 6. Stanek's 30 career postseason appearances are tied um, for tied for ninth most among active players. He won a World Series with the Astros in 2022. Now, age 33, Stanek is coming off a year in which he ranked in the 96th percentile among major league pitchers in fastball velocity, topping out at 100.6 miles per hour. His whiff rate of 33.2%, which he generated largely via his slider split fingered fastball, also rated in the 94th percentile. Back in New York, Stanton gives the Mets a right-handed complement to lefty setup man AJ Minter. Those two and Diaz will form the bones of the Mets bullpen. Other returning pieces include Reed Garrett, Dedniel Nunez, Jose Butos, Sean Reed Foley, and Danny Young, who will compete for jobs against a slew of waiver claims, minor league signings, and others. And yeah, yeah, that's really something else actually. So let's go on to speaking of Danielle Nunez. Speaking of Danielle Nunez, Danielle Nunez late start to the Grapefruit League season has translated into a minor league ticket. The right-hander reliever was optioned Sunday to AAA Syracuse, where he will continue to his build-up for later consideration as an addition to the Mets bullpen. Nunez has appeared in only 2 games this spring, and team officials didn't want to rush him back. The slow buildup for Nunez followed his absence from the team late last season with forearm tightness. At Syracuse, the goal is to get Nunez pitching on consecutive days and beyond 1 inning. Um, let's see. Let's see. That's the right thing to do here, especially when we are talking about a guy that had some elbow issues last year. And it's not fair after just a couple of outings to ask him when he is not ready, Mendoza said. He's going to go down to AAA and we want to build him up. AJ Minter isn't officially added to the bullpen yet, but the lefty is scheduled to pitch Monday. Already happened. His second appearance in 3 days and be cleared for the opening day roster unless there is a setback. Actually, Minter is returning from hip surgery last season. And of course, Alexander Canario homered twice in the 10-2 exhibition victory over the Marlins. The 24-year-old outfielder has impressed team officials in camp, but there isn't an obvious fit for him. Canario is out of minor league options. The power is real, and we saw it today, Mendoza said. When he impacts the baseball, he can do some damage. Mendoza opened his post-game media session by expressing condolences to former Yankees outfielder Brett Gardner and his family. Gardner's 14-year-old son Miller died Friday after falling ill on vacation. Damn. Gardner and Mendoza were teammates in the Yankees farm system. Mendoza was later a coach for the Yankees when Gardner was a player. Mendoza said his sons were friends with Miller Gardner. Yeah, that's tough, man. And by the way, I think AJ Minter is injured. He's on the injured list actually. And Alexander Canario, I may have mentioned he got traded to the Pittsburgh Pirates, actually. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And Hayden Senger. Hayden Senger, right? Um, yeah, let's talk about him. Hayden Senger, right? So the Mets annihilated the Marlins 10-2 on Sunday in Port St. Lucie. Alexander Canario had a huge game, collecting 3 hits and homering twice, including a grand slam. Starting in center field, Brandon Nimmo also contributed 3 hits, including a double and a triple. Right-handed pitcher Griffin Canning started for the Mets and was solid, surrendering 2 runs on 5 hits and 3 walks over 4.1 innings. Outfielders Tyrone Taylor and Starling Marte both clubbed their first home runs of spring training. The Mets clarified their starting rotation and several bullpen spots on Saturday. And of course, Dedniel Nunez is in AAA Syracuse, and 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 outfielder acquired Troy Schreffler from the Phillies. Um, rumor mill. The Mets are still searching for another right-handed bat. And stories from Port St. Lucie, the Mets' patience with 4 homegrown players has started to pay off, according to the New York Post. And what's the best debut in Mets history from the Athletic? And of course, the Mets' first base coach is squeezing all he can out of the base runners from Bergen Record. And of course, previous game matchup, Mets are 13-13. Mets were 13-13 versus the Yankees 14-13. And that took place in Port St. Lucie previously. And of course, yes, Hayden Senger. All right. So en route to an unlikely run to the NLCS in 2024, the Mets got contributions from several unlikely sources. If I had told you this time last year that Jose Iglesias, Mark Vientos, and Jesse Winker would be playing starring roles on a team making a deep postseason run in just a few months, you would have thought I'd gone insane. Once I added that names like Reed Garrett, Dedniel Nunez would become key cogs in the bullpen, and that the acquisition of a backup catcher, Luis Torrens, became one of the turning points in a disappointing season. You'd have you'd had you'd have had me committed. Oh boy. Ah man. Yeah, sorry for the tongue tie. But that's what baseball is about, right? For a team to be successful over the course of a grueling 162 game season, it needs to have every member of the 26-man roster pulling on the same end of the rope, while also finding sparks in some seriously unlikely places. No two seasons are ever the same. And the Mets can't expect to begin 2025 with the same magic and mojo they had last fall. But with the opening day roster all but set, I do think an opportunity exists for this season's vibes to get off to a fantastic start. Obviously, it is less than ideal that starting catcher Francisco Alvarez is slated to miss the first month or so of the season, recovering from a broken handmade bone in his right hand. Um, yeah, yeah. Yeah, he, yeah. In his absence, the Mets will start the aforementioned Luis Torrens behind the plate, which has opened up a roster spot for 27-year-old minor league veteran Hayden Senger to break camp with him. Um, New York's brass has not yet announced Senger's inclusion on the opening day roster, but when the club optioned fellow veteran Jackson Reitz to minor league camp on Saturday, it became obvious Sanger had beaten out the rest of the organization's in-house options. Um, in the Mets selected the Hamilton, Ohio native in the 24th round of the 2018 draft. And while he's never emerged as a legitimate prospect, that doesn't mean he hasn't had an impactful minor league career. Sanger has developed a reputation as a strong defensive backstop, excuse me, and was named the organization's minor league catcher of the year in 2023. He owns a lifetime 235, 325, 360 in over 400 games in the Mets system. He's also exactly the uh, ter- type of tertiary character that good teams get big time moments from over the course of a special season. Um, MLB.com's story a few weeks ago about Singer working at Whole Foods the last two winters to earn extra money blew up nationally. He has yet to participate in one major league inning, yet is already one of the easiest guys in the sport to root for. And provided the Mets don't make another move behind the plate in the coming days, he's probably about a week from making his big league debut. And once he gets in there, I have a hunch he'll deliver a big moment or two before Alvarez returns back, comes back. He actually, in one of the games, he actually hit a home run in one of the games that I seen him in. And I gotta say, man, I gotta say, this has been a hot start for Hayden Senger and the Mets. I will I will give him that. I'll give him that. And you gotta give the man his flowers, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. And yeah, I did mention Tyrone Taylor in his first home run in spring training along with Starling Marte. I did mention that too, briefly. Let's see. What else? What else can we talk about here? Yeah, I believe the Mets took 2 out of 3 from the Miami Marlins. They lost one of the games against the Marlins. So let's go to let's go to let's go to what is this? What is this? Let's go to hang on 1 second here. Hold on 1 second. All right, hold on. 25 MLB storyline. Yeah. Um, let's get into. It's been 25 years since a World Series winner repeated as champion. 50 years since Carlton Fisk ended one of MLB's greatest games and most important telecasts, 75 years since baseball introduced the first bullpen car and the rule to mandate the home run bats, second in 100 years since Pittsburgh beat Washington through the worst weather conditions of a World Series game 7. Let's see. Rain, mist, fog, and a field described by the Washington Post as a swampy bog. Damn. Shit. Um, and Happy New Year, baseball fans. No sport is as informed by its past like baseball. While the Los Angeles Dodgers look fully capable of going back to back, the odds say you are still better off taking the field rather than the Dodgers. The biggest joys of a baseball season are always found in the surprises, but until then, um to get you ready for 2025, here is what we know is coming. By B day milestones, schedule highlights, comebacks, or trends to watch. Here are 25 for 25. Of course, the first thing, number one, the return of Shohei Ohtani to the mound. You didn't forget, did you? Before he blew out his elbow, Ohtani was one of the best hitters in baseball. From 2021 to 23, he was 24 and 16 with a 2.84 ERA and 11.4 strikeouts per 9 innings. In that span, he ranked second in ERA plus third in ERA, third in strikeout rate, and fifth in winning percentage. The Dodgers will slow play his return, especially since surgery to repair his non throwing shoulder setback his rehab timeline. You might not see Otani on the mound until late April or May, and he probably will make only about 20 starts in Los Angeles's 6-man rotation. But imagine if the Dodgers get to October with a rotation of Otani, Blake Snell, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and Tyler Glasnow. Good luck, world. Number two, the challenge system for balls and strikes. A sneak peek at the future of baseball is here. Every team will get a trial run in spring training with the major league version of the system that has been used in the minors. The pitcher, catcher, and batter each can challenge the pitch called by an umpire. Each team gets two challenges per game. Quickly, a video on the scoreboard shows whether the path of the pitch entered the strike zone. Similar to line calls in tennis. The speed, accuracy, and fan engagement should lead to calls to implement the system in the regular season this year. That's not happening, but after proper review by MLB and the players, it should be in place for 2026. Number three, the decision Roki Sasaki version is coming between. It happened, it really happened between it, which took place between, excuse me, January 15th and January 23rd. Sasaki is not a finished product, and he will be under an innings limit in 2025. But the 23-year-old right-hander will, with sick fastball movement and a nasty split, has the ceiling of being one of the best pitchers on the planet, and he could be had for an international signing bonus no greater than $7.5 million and pitched this year in the majors at a minimum salary. 20 teams sent interest to his agent, Joe Wolf, which begs the question, why are 10 teams not even trying? Sasaki will soon narrow the field down in round two and may visit the cities of teams that make the finals cut. With careful handling, Sasaki has the stuff to be an instant sensation. Number four, the first full season of Paul Schemes. The way Schemes finished the season validated how well the Pittsburgh Pirates guided him through his rookie year. He averaged only 4 innings per start in his 7 minor league outings, then pitched with at least 5 days of rest in all his major league starts. Oh, will they pitch him on 4 days occasionally in 2025? Will they let him throw 180 to 190 innings this year, as he should have no problem reaching his command more so than his velocity is what sets him apart? He could dominate MLB in 2025, starting with opening day, March 27th, against the Marlins in Miami. Number five, the Baseball Hall of Fame vote. Would Ichiro Suzuki be a unanimous selection? Will fellow first ballot candidate CC Sabathia join him at what would be a huge induction ceremony in July? Will Billy Wagner, who fell 5 votes short last year, make it in his final try on the writer's ballot? Will Carlos Beltran continue to gain momentum after getting dinged for his role in the 2017 Astro sign stealing scandal? Man, y'all gotta let that shit go, man. Y'all gotta let that shit go, man. Seriously. Seriously, man. Y'all gotta let that shit go, man. It's 2025, man. How much support is there for first time candidates Dustin Pedroia and Felix Hernandez? Um, the answers will come January 21st. Of course, number six, Juan Soto returns to the Bronx. Not necessarily true, but circle May 16th to the 18th. This should be fun. Maybe plan B for the New York Yankees turns out better than Plan A, which was to resign Soto. Um, Mets owner Steve Cohen was not going to be outbid. That requires Max Fried and Devin Williams to stay healthy and Paul Goldschmidt to bounce back at age 37 from the worst season of his career. One thing is for sure, Soto is going to hit, always has, always will. He has the highest floor of any hitter in baseball. Rivalry weekend number 7 and a schedule change. MLB increased the key interleague rivalry games, such as Mets Yankees, from 4 to 6. 11th of the 15 series, the weekend of May 16th to the 18th, are matchups between such key interleague rivals. Number 8, Major League Baseball in the minor league ballparks. The Athletics um, are playing in West Sacramento, and the Tampa Bay Rays are playing at the Yankees spring training site, George M. Steinbrenner Field. Both venues will be retrofitted to Major League standards, the lighting, clubhouses, training facilities, etc. But it's not a good look, especially given weather changes, summer heat in West Sacramento, heat and rain in Tampa. Number 9, the return of Mike Trout. He's 33 years old and has not played more than 140 games in 9 years. Over the past 4 years, injuries have kept him out of 59% of the Angels games. But don't forget that in those 4 years, Trout slugged 575 and a 951 OPS. There is plenty left in the tank, though in a different form than the classic version of who should hit 40 to 50 home runs if he stays healthy. Number 10, 2,000 hits for a Manny Machado. The San Diego Padres third baseman is 100 hits short of 2,000. He would become only the 55th player to reach 2,000 hits by age 32. Of the previous 10 players this century to get there at that age, 5 made it to 3,000. This um, includes Miguel Cabrera, Albert Pujols, Adrian Beltre, Alex Rodriguez, aka A-Rod, and Derek Jeter. And 5 did not. Robbie Cano, Edgar Renteria, Pudge Rodriguez, Ken Griffey Jr., and Roberto Alomar. Number 11, 1,000 RBIs for Bryce Harper. With 24 more RBIs, Harper will become only the 4th player with 1,000 RBIs, 1,000 walks, and 100 stolen bases by age 32. The others are Mickey Mantle, Carl Yastrzemski, and Barry Bonds. Number 12, 1,000 RBIs for Trout. Trout needs 46 RBIs for a grand. So why not get it in the same year as Harper? His fellow 2012 Rookie of the Year. Through 2019, Trout led Harper in WAR 72.5 to 32.2. Since then, Harper leads Trout 18.8 to 13.8. Hold on. Number 13, the MLB Speedway Classic at Bristol. The Atlanta Braves play the Cincinnati Reds at Bristol Motor Speedway on August 2nd. Left-handed pull hitters will take aim at turn one. Right-handed pull hitters will try to go deep into turn two. Very cool. The idea of Ellie De La Cruz stealing bags at the Speedway is perfect. Number 14, 4,000 total bases for Freddie Freeman. He needs only 134. How huge is that number? Freeman will become only the 10th first baseman with 4,000 total bases and 1,000 walks. Of the first nine to reach those thresholds, all are in the Hall of Fame except Albert Pujols, who is not yet eligible, and Rafael Palmeiro, whose candidacy was sunk by PED taint. Number 15, the Tokyo Series, Dodgers versus Cubs. Los Angeles featuring Otani and Yamamoto take on Chicago featuring Shota Imanaga and Seiya Suzuki, which took place March 18th and 19th at the Tokyo Dome to kick off the 2025 MLB season. How much does Japan love baseball? Game two of the 2024 World Series with Yamamoto as the starting pitcher drew a bigger audience in the morning in Japan than in time in the US. The 5 game World Series averaged a bigger audience in Japan than did the 5 game 2024 NBA Finals in the US. Number 16, the twilight of Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer. Don't count out Verlander, who turns 42 next month, and Scherzer 40. They may not be front of the rotation workhorses any longer, but they are fierce competitors who would be an asset to any contender. Verlander and Scherzer ranked 10th and 11th, respectively, on the all-time strikeouts list. Next up for Verlander, Walter Johnson, 93 strikeouts away. Number 17, the comebacks of Jacob DeGrom and Clayton Kershaw. Both pitchers are 36. They have 5 Cy Young awards between them, but only DeGrom hasn't thrown 100 innings since 2019. He should begin the year in the Texas Rangers rotation. Kershaw is not expected back from toe and knee surgeries until midseason. Number 18, 50 years of free agency when arbitrator Peter Seitz ruled December 23rd, 1975, in favor of pitchers Andy Messersmith and Dave McNally. He effectively ended baseball's reserve clause. Owners appealed and lost, forcing them to bargain with the Players Association on a system of free agency. Maverick A's owner Charlie Finley wanted all players to be free agents every year, thus flooding the market and keeping prices down. Union Chief Marvin Miller was too smart for that. And besides, the owners didn't listen to Finley. The two sides came up with a threshold to qualify for free agency that exists to this day: 6 years of service time. The free agent class next season is due to include Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Kyle Tucker, Framber Valdez, Zach Gallen, Bo Bichette, and Devin Williams. Number 19, 450 home runs. 450 home runs for Giancarlo Stanton. Sitting on 429 homers, Stanton needs 21 450 and another 3 after that to pass Carl Yastrzemski into 40th place on the all-time list. His path to 500 homers and the Hall of Fame are coming into focus. Number 20, 2,000 strikeouts for Stanton. Damn. With just 37 more punch-outs, Stanton will become only the eighth player with 2,000 strikeouts. Goldschmidt, his new Yankees teammate, is not far behind. He is 121 strikeouts away from club strikeout. Number 21, the next wave of young pitchers. Technology has pushed pitching development so far ahead of hitting development. That trend continues. The next generation of plug and play strikeout pitchers who will impact 2025 include Jackson Jobe of the Detroit Tigers, Andrew Painter of the Philadelphia Phillies, Bubba Chandler of the Pirates, Camden Dana of the Angels, and Kumar Rocker of the Rangers. Number 22, National League dominance. Dodgers reliever Joe Kelly wasn't wrong when he talked about the path the Yankees had to the World Series last year. It was easier than getting through the NL, which is National League. And that doesn't change in 2025. Last year, 7 NL teams won 89 games. Only 3 AL teams did so. Of the 15 free agents who signed for $75 million or more the past two off seasons, 12 of them signed with NL teams. Number 23. The 50-year drought. This is the 50th season of MLB baseball in Seattle, including one by the Seattle Pilots. um, the city has never hosted a World Series, the longest such drought by any metropolitan area. Damn. Among those playing the waiting game longest, Seattle is followed by Pittsburgh 45 years, Milwaukee 42, Baltimore 41, and Cincinnati 34. And number 24, I talked about this in a previous episode in regards to David Wright's number 5 being retired. It's the 10th number worn by a Mets player to be retired by the club. The first such single digit, it's the eighth number 5 to be retired and the first since 2007 when the Astros retired Jeff Bagwell's number 5. And number 25, a fantastic finish. The regular season ends September 28th. 8 of the 15 matchups are among division rivals, including Orioles, Yankees, Diamondbacks, Padres, and Cardinal, Cardinals and Cubs. Okay, let's see. What else can we talk about here? Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Avoid arbitration for the play. Yeah, I'm gonna save that topic for some other time. Actually, I'm gonna save that topic for another time. I'm gonna save that topic for another time. Actually, um, let me see something. Let me see something. Sorry about that, folks. I had to run to the bathroom and stuff. Anyway, for those of you who may not know what happened with AJ Minter, I want to actually get into this actually before I even forget. So what happened? Here's what's happening here. Before the series opener tonight in Arizona, the Mets announced that left-handed reliever AJ Minter is set to undergo season-ending surgery for a torn lat. Minter hit the injured list last week, and his 2025 season comes to an end after just 11.0 innings of work. He had a 1.64 ERA and a 1.89 FIP over that brief span. Combined with the loss of lefty reliever Danny Young to Tommy John surgery. Yeah, that's crazy though. That's crazy. Tommy John surgery. The Mets were quickly left without any left-handed relievers on in their major league roster. For now, Genesis Cabrera is filling that void, but it wouldn't be surprising to see the Mets try to do something else to fill that role between now and the end of the regular season. Mets has signed a 2-year, 2022, a $22 million deal with the Mets following the 2024 season, and he was coming back from hip surgery that affected his ability and very likely his performance during that season with the Braves. Um yeah, yeah, that has to suck, man. That really has to suck. I do want to say this. I do want to say this though, man. And for everyone out there who are Mets fans and stuff, right? Look, you could be the best player whether you are an outfielder, an infielder, pitcher, catcher, whatever, right? You could be the best home run hitter ever. But at the same time, you through goes through slumps. It's not just Mark Vientos. There's other players that also goes through slumps. And my issue with not all, my issue with some of the Mets fans who's ragging on Mark Vientos and the other players and stuff, like you have to I'm sorry, but the thing is they're human beings at the end of the day, just like you and I. You feel what I'm saying? And I feel like, listen, you're gonna have times where your patience is thin, right? But it doesn't always have to be. It doesn't always have to be. And just because certain players make errors and whatnot whatsoever does not mean does not mean that the players should be doubting and blaming themselves and putting pressure on themselves over one lousy mistakes. One lousy mistakes. M- a lot of mistakes. Yeah, it can happen to anybody. The point I'm trying to make here is for those I'm not gonna for those who keep wanting to get somebody traded or fired, whatever it may be. Y'all acting like y'all could do better. Y'all acting like y'all y'all acting as if that y'all like experts in baseball. But clearly, y'all not really experts. Ragging on somebody over their mistakes, you know what it does to a person, you know what it does to individuals? It ruins their confidence. And I'm pretty sure many of you been through struggles as well. When you played any sport, including baseball. So let me just the point I'm trying to make here is you don't want to do onto others so they don't do it to you. There is no such thing as a fucking perfect baseball athlete. There's no such thing as a perfect athlete in any sport, no matter who it is. I look at these athletes as human beings. And sometimes they'll have like, a mental issue. It happens. You can't rag on them for having a mental issue, a mental crisis. Like, come on now. They're human beings, just like everybody else. And and on that note, I am going to actually wrap up this podcast, man. I'm going to save that other topic. I'm gonna save this other topic in regards to the New York Mets avoiding arbitration for the players. I'm gonna save that for another time. Actually, I'm gonna save that topic. So yeah, so there you go, right there. All right, let's wrap up right here. We're gonna wrap up right here. So, hold on, let me get this set up. Let me get this set up right here. Yeah. All right, I'm about to hit the last segment of the night, which is stream choices on the go. Let's get into it right here. Oh, hold on. I forgot something. All right, let's get into it right here. Let's get into it right here. Stream choices on the go. In case you didn't know, if you are new, stream choices on the go is where I actually inform you where you can follow the sports podcast, especially social media and of course stream platforms and stuff. So here it is. Stream choices on the go. Of course. Um of course. Make sure you follow Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast with um a- alongside with Bluesky Social, Facebook, Threads, and Instagram. And along with my other podcast shows that's also on the same social media platforms, Blue Sky Social, Facebook, Threads, and Instagram. my entertainment review show, Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast, alongside with my comedy Off the Meat Rat Chainz New York Avenue podcast is also on there as well. And of course, you can follow your host with the most, G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York on Threads and Instagram. Now, if you go to the link in bio, you're going to see, if you go to the link in bio, you're going to see a whole list of audio streaming platforms. I just mentioned previously that I added the podcast to some new streaming platforms. I'm going to go through it right now. So let's start off with Odyssey, Audible, Amazon Music, the newly added Apple Podcasts, Castbox FM, Deezer, Listen Notes, Moon FM Podcast, Overhaul FM Podcast, Player FM, Pocket Cast, Podo Polo, Podorama, Podcast Index, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Podverse, Podcast Guru, Podcatcher. Let me not forget Podcast Republic. Snipped, Spotify for creators. Tune in, Fountain, Good Pods, iHeartRadio, the number one app where you can listen to your favorite music artists, whether it's rappers, hip hop artists, singers, and R&B, and other music genres, radio stations, and podcast shows and episodes for free. You don't need a credit card to download iHeartRadio. All you need to do is follow the sports platform, Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast on iHeartRadio and other streaming platforms that I just mentioned just now. And you can do the same with YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel page, the YouTube Sports YouTube channel page, Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast. Leave a like and comment along with the sports topics. Tell me how you feel about the topics, and of course, a little bit of a sport a sport opinion at the end, actually. And of course, you can add the podcast to your Spotify playlist alongside with enabling alerts, which is the notification bell, so you could be notified on when each new episode video podcast live stream recordings will be recording. And of course, if you missed out on any podcast episodes, please feel free to actually do some catching up. I will actually say to share the Linktree link alongside with the streaming platforms with your husbands, your wives, your boyfriends, girlfriends, people you are cool with, friends, people you are cool with from work, whatsoever. Spread the word to your friends. And of course, let me just say, I want to say thank you to every single one of you out there who took the chance to listen to the episodes and the topics whatsoever. New episodes will be dropping Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. All right. I will be dropping episode 94 on Wednesday. And the next episode will be Thursday, and 96 will be on Saturday. So, depending on how the Mets schedule is going to be, because they're going to be out on the road. So I want to actually make sure that I don't record while the game is on. But it's going to be late. It's going to be late though. So yeah. And remember, the grind doesn't stop. Hard work pays off. If you want something, you have to work hard and earn it. It's not going to be given to you on a fucking silver platter. And of course, if you plan on starting a podcast for yourself or with your friends or whatever, depending on what genre, what category, as far as the topics and stuff, there is no right or wrong time to actually start a podcast. And there's no right or wrong way to actually doing a podcast as a host. You know what I'm saying? Do this for you. Do this for yourself. And ask yourself, are you doing this for the money, or are you doing this for the moment, or are you doing this for fun and something that you enjoy doing? That's the question. Believe in yourself, have confidence, be resilient, be determined not to give up on your goals and dreams, and to be on your P's and Q's on a consistency basis, creatively, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. That gets you into your zone alongside with tunnel vision. All right. And it's never too late to actually learn new stuff when it comes to sports. Even though I'm not a stats person, right? I'm not a stats person, but I do find it intriguing and interesting to look into. But I'm not a mathematician, so I can't really do that. I leave that to the other YouTubers out there that's covering the New York Mets and stuff, and podcasters. Shouts to the podcasters who also are covering the New York Mets and stuff. So you know what I'm saying? So you could listen to any podcast in the whole world, but you chose to listen to the sports podcast platform right here. And that's going to do it for Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, episode 94, titled Hot Start, dedicated to Hayden Senger and the team. All right. I'll see y'all next time. Same place, same sports channel, same time, and of course, peace and one love. And I hope y'all be safe out there while watching the Dodgers game and the other teams on the road. For all you Mets fans out there, be careful, stay safe. And yeah, that's it, man. I'm out. Take care of yourselves. One love and good night, everybody. Good night, everybody.